Walter White couldn't have done it without me. You got that?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for spin-off TV shows that equal or exceeded their predecessors, and ones that are basically pointless.
You know, Tuesday's kind of an interesting name.
Blah, blah, blah.
Number 5. Unnecessary, The Lone Gunman. In the 90s and early 2000s, The X-Files was a hot show for Fox. A spin-off was developed based on the recurring side characters, the Lone Gunman, a trio of private eyes who also run a conspiracy theory magazine.
You plan to test that chemical on an unwitting public. Why? For what possible reason?
Myers, shut up.
Who gives you the authority?
On their own show, the guys get into much more comedic adventures than Mulder and Scully. Although the show was well received critically, audiences didn't seem that interested. The series was canceled after a single season.
She did save our butts. Maybe she's not the person you think she is.
You could still be fired.
The show was good, just not essential viewing. It probably inspired its own conspiracies though, considering the pilot's somewhat eerie prediction of the events of 9/11.
Corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. We're going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
I'll tell the flight crew.
Number 5. As Good, Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
It would have been easier if you'd never found out about Joanne.
No, I'm glad I did. If you want to know who you are, it's important to know who you've been.
While Star Trek The Next Generation is a tempting alternative, we'd argue that this spin-off of that spin-off is as good or better. Deep Space Nine eschews most of the space exploration Star Trek is famous for, and instead focuses on the titular space station. The series arguably delves further into character development than its predecessors.
I am an accessory to murder. But the most damning thing of all, I think I can live with it.
The extensive supporting cast all receive their time in the limelight. Additionally, DS9 doesn't shy away from the darker sides of the 24th century, with a prolonged war arc and other heavy topics that still ring true today.
We would have reached an accommodation. We would have sat down across a negotiation table and hammered out a peace treaty.
Deep Space Nine reaches for optimism while still providing a mirror to the real world, which helps make it among the best Star Trek has to offer. Number 4. Unnecessary, Joey. Look, we all love Joey Tribbiani. Who doesn't? But on Friends, he's part of an ensemble, where his personality has room to bounce off of the others. When he's left as the leading man to carry this spin-off, we find the character ill-suited for the task.
Bunch of songs I thought you might like. Yeah, some Sinatra, Marvin Gaye, and the last track is a Jerky Boys prank call. I'll warn you now. Make sure you're not drinking anything when you listen to it. It will come out your nose.
Despite some talented supporting cast members, Joey just lacks the same spark and effortless chemistry of its predecessor.
Now every time I look at it, I think of her. Isn't it beautiful?
It's a picture of you.
Yeah, I know. Those eyes just burn into you, don't they?
The show never quite finds its voice, and much like Joey's own acting career, meanders from one thing to another. While it's nice to see Joey grow a bit more as a character, it honestly feels too little too late.
And you were right. We're better this way, as friends.
You really think so?
Number 4. As Good, Angel.
And to think, we were wondering when to call the police on a bunch of superheroes.
Well, not really a hero.
More like a blood-sucking fiend.
Given that he was one of the most popular characters on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a spin-off focusing on Angel, the vampire cursed with a soul, was only natural. While it takes a bit for the show to find its groove, once it does, Angel is every bit as good as Buffy, albeit in a different way.
Fred's got a shot at a normal life. Not that I don't love you guys and LA and my work, but things are just never normal around here.
Angel retains the dry, snarky humor of its predecessor, yet takes a more somber, darker approach to battling vampires and other dark supernatural forces in Los Angeles. Its more mature tone, excellent ensemble, and ability to reinvent itself proved that Angel was indeed blessed by the powers that be.
Well, personally,
I kind of want to slay the dragon. Let's go to work.
Number 3. Unnecessary. After MASH. We get the thought process behind doing a sequel spinoff to MASH. It was a huge success that ran for over a decade.
Colonel, before you go,
We've been thinking about it, and there's a little something we'd like to give you.
it's not much, but it comes from the heart.
The idea of following the lives of the characters after the Korean War might have been compelling in theory, but in practice, it just didn't work. After MASH only showed us what happens to a few of the members of the MASH ensemble, which made it feel even more like the cash grab it was.
Hi, Bonnie. For you.
Hey.
I love your nails. When you cut them, I'd love to have the clippings.
Additionally, despite being a sitcom, its comedic chops weren't up to the standards set by its predecessor. MASH would be a tough act for a good show to follow, and this was not.
I prayed for you, Soon Lee prayed for you. I prayed to Allah, she prayed to Buddha.
And you'll stay on?
Yes. Terrific! Wow, we'll be together, and he can hear, he can hear!
Number 3. The Simpsons. Even the people who know The Simpsons is a spin-off probably forget from time to time. The characters originated in animated shorts on the sketch comedy series The Tracy Ullman Show.
Snuggling up, bonding together as only a tightly knit family can. Why, we're more than a...
Dad, you can stop now. Commercial's over and the show's back on.
While you might be hard-pressed to find many who remember its origins, The Simpsons is a veritable giant in television history. The characters are recognizable worldwide.
I will be there, for I am the Pie Man.
And wherever Pie Man is, the Cupcake Kid will not be far behind.
Its comedy has influenced countless future TV shows and even culture at large. Whether you think its golden days are over or you still swear by the later seasons, The Simpsons far surpassed its humble origins.
We're actually entering Dad's dreams?
Yes, you see, it's the only way you can uncover the psychological trauma that is causing your father's secret shame.
Number 2. Unnecessary. Baywatch Nights. Baywatch may be iconic, but the show itself is no masterpiece. Making a watchable follow-up shouldn't have been that hard, yet Baywatch Nights still flubbed it.
No, it's not missing bodies, missing persons.
Body. The Crabtree Funeral Home somehow misplaced the dearly departed Mrs. T. Whistle. They'll pay us real money to find her.
You'd be forgiven for thinking it's a show about pretty people saving people from drowning, but this time at night. Yet it's somehow even more ridiculous. We're not sure who thought it was a good idea to have Mitch Buchanan and Garner Ellerby start a detective agency, or who they thought would want to watch that.
At least Cassidy wouldn't be doing any photo sessions for a while. But a man named Grimes might still be alive, if I had trusted my instincts.
As if that wasn't absurd enough, in the show's second season, they tried to get some of that sweet X-Files demographic by investigating paranormal crimes. Somehow, this didn't work either.
Just stay passive. I don't think he wants to hurt you. Just stay calm.
It's okay. He's just confused. Imagine how you would feel if you died and then you woke up 1,000 years later in some new place.
Number 2. As Good. Frasier. Cheers was a landmark sitcom with a fantastic ensemble. While a few spin-offs of it were attempted, the one that really stuck was Frasier.
People move in and out of your life. You must never miss an opportunity to tell these people how much they mean to you.
Following Frasier Crane's return to his home city of Seattle, the show has a talented cast of its own, with Frasier's family, friends, and co-workers becoming every bit as iconic as those on Cheers.
Where are you going to find an idiot willing to take 6 dialect parts unrehearsed?
The fussy psychiatrist's neuroses and the frequently farcical plots that see him scrambling to maintain appearances are absolutely hysterical. Critics and viewers agreed on the appeal of the show's razor-sharp wit.
I need your guidance.
Frasier, I don't see this as a problem.
You don't think this is the selling out of Frasier Crane?
Oh, certainly not. You sold out a long time ago.
It was even popular enough to merit a revival run decades later.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Unnecessary. That 80s Show. Although not technically a spin-off of That 70s Show, there are no characters or storylines shared between the two, we're still counting it because of the name and creative team overlap.
But which one of you says I will crush you in a hostile takeover?
Burgundy.
She's right.
I can't believe this is a conversation.
It definitely feels like a pale imitation of its predecessor. The show follows a group of 20-somethings in the 1980s, yet it lacks the same universal coming-of-age feeling that made the original a success.
Do you have any Miles Davis? You're not ready.
Although several of the cast members would go on to bigger and better things, few of the characters felt grounded or easy to connect with. The show arrived too early for the wave of 80s nostalgia, but was far from being ahead of its time.
I think you want to have coffee with me.
I was already gonna go get coffee, okay? So if you want to be pathetic and follow me, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like being pathetic.
Good, because you are.
Number 1. As good. Better Call Saul.
If you don't like where you're heading, there's no shame in going back and changing your path.
Oh, when have you ever changed your path?
Breaking Bad is among the most critically acclaimed TV series of all time. Yet somehow, creators Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould followed it up with a prequel spinoff that equals, and in some ways surpasses it. The story of Jimmy McGill's journey to becoming the seedy lawyer Saul Goodman is gripping.
I kept Walter White out of jail. I laundered his money, I lied for him, I conspired with him, and I made millions.
Its plot might not be as tight as its predecessors, however, the character development and acting from the whole cast, as well as the spectacular cinematography and top-notch writing, could put it above Breaking Bad for many. Like the character himself says, "It's all good, man."
It's all good, man.
Is there a spin-off series that our list is worse off for forgetting? Let us know in the comments.
There's only one way.
Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.